Publishing a book is easy, selling it is not. Why? Well, think about how many books are actually available on Amazon. The current estimate is about 44 million. That's a lot of books, certainly more than you're going to read in a lifetime. Hello, my name is Bo Bennett. I have a PhD in social psychology and an undergrad in marketing. For the past 15 years or so, I've been helping thousands of authors publish and market their books. And I can do the same for you through our company, BookMarketing.pro. But the bigger issue is how many books there actually are versus the demand for the books. How many people are actually reading the books and buying the books? You have to think about, as an author, you're competing with other people's time for their time. Everybody has 24 hours in a day, no matter who you are, where you live, what you do. So you need to compete for those hours. You need to convince people, readers, why they should invest their time into reading your book. So you got to think about how you're going to go about that. As a nonfiction author, for example, you have to have a really good hook with what you're telling them. Like, what are they going to get out of it? Are they going to learn something? Are they just going to be entertained? Are they going to pick up a new skill, learn a language, whatever? You have to really sell them on what they're going to get from the book. And remember, selling benefits. That's what it's all about. It's not actually selling the product. You're not technically, I mean, you are technically selling the book, but you're not trying to sell them just a book. You're selling them an idea. You're selling them a concept. You're selling them an improvement to their life in some way. So those are the kind of things you need to think about, at least as a nonfiction author. As a fiction author, I personally think that your job is a little bit more difficult because, again, they're not going to get anything besides entertainment, and entertainment is pretty difficult to sell. And I say that because you're competing against some of the most incredible entertainers in the world. Think about like the top comedians, the top uh, movies that gross hundreds of millions of dollars. Technically, you're competing against them. You kind of hope that people who are buying books for entertainment, they're in a different category. And you could argue that they are, but again, it all comes down to their time. And you're competing against video games, you're competing against apps, everything that's trying to take people away from reading books and getting them to get entertained in another way. So your job is kind of difficult, but you need to really sell them the idea of that they are going to be entertained. They're going to feel something. Um, Entertainment is not just, hey, I'm having fun. Entertainment is also just reaching people at the emotional level, whether you do it through something that's really sad, something that's really happy, any kind of emotion that they could feel. That's entertainment. So try to touch on that in not only your book title, but your description, which is really important, and the cover as well. So that's what you need to consider when you're talking about marketing your book and selling your book. What you're trying to do is you're trying to go for organic growth. Otherwise, it's an uphill battle. And what I mean by that is you want people to buy your book and you want them to share your book with other people and write about your book and talk about your book, and their efforts are growing your book instead of your direct efforts. Think of it as a legitimate form of multi level marketing where you just get other people and they do all the work for you and you sit back and collect all the money. It's kind of like a legitimate pyramid scheme. That's what organic growth basically is. You're having other people do all the work for you just by talking about it, and media outlets will report on it and write stories and maybe do something on television for it because it's interesting to their audience and influencers. So that's what you want to try to catch. Want to try to get your book to grow organically, and there's a lot of keys to that and ways to do it, but mostly I would say that it's a lot luck. Sometimes some topics just really hit with audiences, and you don't even realize it. As a publisher of thousands of different books from thousands of authors, I've seen this personally. Books that I've never thought would do well, and yet they do incredible, and vice versa. I'm like, oh, this is a wonderful idea, but it doesn't catch on. It's really about the market and the timing. There's a lot of different factors involved. But the point is that you're never going to know until you actually try. How is your book going to do? You never know. You just really never know until you actually try and get it out there. Get your book in the hands of as many readers as possible that are interested in your genre and see how it does. That's pretty much the goal.